And we're back and we're making waves here at DefSec Atlantic. This is a very exciting time to be in the marine and defense sector. A lot of companies leaning into this. There's big companies here looking for partners right now. And there's companies that are thinking creatively about the marine and defense sector. And our next guest, his company, is certainly one of those for sure. So Randy, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Yeah, my name is Randy Billard. I'm the president and CEO of Virtual Marine. I'm a small town Newfoundland guy. I came from Isle of Morton, Newfoundland.
Stop now, where's that? You're going to have to explain where that is.
That's about as far away from St. John's as you can get driving towards Port of Ask. So you go west of St. John's, go down past Port of Ask, and you're in a little town called Isle of Morton.
Wow.
But it's a very historic town. We're very well known for a couple of stories, one being the shipwrecks that we had around our spot. So one of the Coast Guard vessels, the Anne Harvey, is named after an accident that happened on the dispatch was what crashed onto next to Isle of Mort in the 1800s.
I didn't know that.
And Anne Harvey was the daughter of a man who rescued people aboard that shipwreck.
Right?
It's a great little story. What they did is they had a Newfoundland dog that fetched a line out to this dispatch and helped people bring that line back and rescued 100 people from.
As Newfoundlanders, we should know this, but
and we'll talk about it in a second. I'm working in a safety company, teaching people how to be prepared for harsh environments. So the story came back 200 years later.
Full circle, eh?
Absolutely.
The ocean is in your blood, obviously.
It's there, and we respect the ocean so much as Newfoundlanders, but especially in our small town, we're underwater every other day.
So you grew up down there. How did you make your way in here?
Well, I came through the normal routes. I went into Cornerbrook and started doing math, and then I became an engineer. I finished a mechanical engineering degree at Mon in 2003. I did a master's in naval architecture engineering, and then I did a PhD in human factor study. Now I'm managing a software and safety team, so none of it makes any sense, but that's just what we did. We adapted to what was needed at the time, and
you're the master of the pivot by the sound of it.
Although
it all is tied together.
It's all really cool, all really interesting, but
You're clearly a lover of lifelong learning.
And I'm still there, and we're teaching. We're a teaching company, so yeah. We like seeing people learn.
Fantastic, Randy.
Tell me about the company you're into now. What is it you do?
So Virtual Marine, we're a double-edged sword. We build simulators for people how to learn how to practice and do difficult things on the water. So two of our primary simulators are lifeboat simulators, where we teach a lifeboat simulator. Where we teach people how to launch a lifeboat from an oil and gas platform into 6 or 8 meter seas, and stuff can go wrong, things can be on fire. But the only way you can really practice for those types of events is with a simulator.
Right.
So you're in a physical moving simulator.
Yeah, it's like a flight simulator that where you learn how to launch a lifeboat and save 80 people from an oil and gas platform. A lot of our words came from safety recommendations came from Access Newfoundland, like the Ocean Ranger.
Right.
So we recognized that safety equipment needed a boost, but also training on safety equipment needed a boost.
Right.
That's how I started my master's degree, was on a research program that was looking at how to make training better for lifeboat operators. So we eureka'd and said, well, we had a flight simulator tailored to lifeboat training.
Right.
We could do it for. We could just teach people how to be prepared.
Don't need to reinvent that wheel. It's
Exactly.
somewhere else, right?
Yeah.
This is really important to the marine industry, what you're doing.
Yeah, but we had to make it our flavor. So the reason we're in Newfoundland is we really had to make sure harsh environments were really well simulated. So we're dealing with the experts in wave mechanics and lifeboat mechanics and people who know harsh environments here. And the beautiful thing with Newfoundland is harsh environments come to us. We don't have to look for it.
That's right, yeah.
So we build all that expertise.
From a tourism perspective, no, it's always 30 degrees and beautiful in St. John's and Newfoundland.
That's right.
But you're right, it is amazing to hear you talk about that. Newfoundland is a great place to do these types of things.
Yeah, and there's so much expertise and the craftiness in Newfoundlanders. I mean, it's just a great place to innovate and be part of a team that really knows the problem and really knows how to solve it.
Yeah, Randy, there's something special about Newfoundland and their creativity and in everything, right?
Absolutely.
The music, the food, the culture.
Absolutely.
It transpires into business as well. But there's one thing that's really cool about Newfoundland that Jerry and I have come to realize, and that is that they like to see each other succeed. They understand the importance of a rising tide floating all boats. And that to me is also what this show represents. I mean, there's a lot of companies here collaborating in a conversation. This is a pretty exciting marketplace to be in. Tell me what growth you see here.
Well, we have I see two big potentials for us here. I mean,
Yeah.
first, I just gave an example of what we're doing in oil and gas. But
Yeah.
we pivot into military and marine
Right.
simulations for just to meet the same need in the
Right.
defense industry here. And we got some good partners here in Halifax, Atlantic Canada.
Yeah.
But we're distributing these simulators worldwide based on stuff that was built in Atlantic Canada,
Wow.
but going as far as Germany, Europe. So just our ability to tap into a lot of the expertise here is great. But I mean, there's also just we're a smaller company. We're a 25-person company, but we work with at any one time, and I've done the count. You know, it's anywhere from 40 to 60 people in companies that are complementary to us.
Right.
Genoa being one. We work with universities. We work with. We're ready to start a supercluster project with companies like GRI and Hatch and M&P, and we're all coming together to solve very specific problems using all of our expertise.
Yeah.
So our biggest thing about coming to these groups is, one, we can see how we collectively can serve the industry that's being represented here, but also see who else we can work with, who we can partner with.
Right.
And that's such a big game for us. Collaboration is such a big important thing for us right now, and that's our secondary goal here.
Yeah.
Who else can we work with?
And you touched on a couple of things there. You talked about universities and stuff. I can sense that you understand very well the importance of government, industry, and academia working together.
Yeah.
Right, and you probably are a big part of that. I mean, you named some of the projects you're involved in. Government sponsors a little bit in behind
Correct,
there.
yeah.
Industry in there, advancing technology through that. Academic partners providing some ideas and some creation in there. But also, the academic partners are getting first look at opportunities for their students and the like. It's a win-win all around.
Yeah, well, we came from the university, Memorial University in Newfoundland.
But did you come through Genesis?
We did come to Genesis.
Oh, wow.
We were when I came on the scene, there was probably 4 or 5 people working on marine simulations, and now that community in Newfoundland has grown to dozens of people.
Right.
Through programs that we did with the university. We have had a research program with the Memorial University every year since we incorporated. So for the last 17 years, we've been doing research with the university. We've published hundreds of papers. We've graduated dozens of master's graduate students. A lot of them are coming to work with us. A lot of them are coming working in these cool tech companies which are here today.
Wow.
And it's just a great.
You're mentoring youth.
Absolutely.
Isn't
Yeah.
that great?
Oh,
We
absolutely.
Alan and I believe a lot in that. As a young person when I started, that kind of thing wasn't, I guess, as prevalent. But hearing now what you're doing, like my son actually just started in the Marine Institute in the nautical science program. We were at Irving a couple of weeks ago, and they can't get graduates fast enough.
Yeah.
So, the HR staffing piece is a little bit tricky right now for a lot of people, is it not?
Oh, it is. It's such a challenge right now, and that's why collaboration is so important. Like rather than us look for people, we look for partners.
Right. Exactly.
And on the mentoring part, I mean, I grew up. I'll go back to my Lamort days where, when I was taught how to pilot a boat, I had someone who put me in a boat and just showed me what to do. And that's just we do a lot of this hands-on training with new graduates or new students coming out of the university. We put them right in the mix of our team, and we find through the programs that are available through MUN and these things that they're very high-performing people. They really evolve into technology experts really fast.
It's interesting, Randy. I think growing up in Newfoundland, you do respect nature, and you're in touch with nature and the ocean. You talked about your company. You came out of kind of the Ocean Ranger and the safety things that came around that. I remember when that storm was hitting. It was. I can't even imagine. How the sadness of those people on that particular rig. But anyway. Newfoundland has an incredible training ground, and what you're doing virtually is just astounding.
We're giving people a chance. So right now, we can put people in that exact situation, like a high sea state, with wind, low visibility, things going wrong. You got to make your decision, and we can give them 2 things. We can give them confidence that they can do it, and we can also give them the confidence to make practice and train and be able to give yourself a better chance of getting off a long gas platform. And we couldn't do this 15 years ago.
And Randy, correct me if I'm wrong, I think your company does a little bit of work with Indigenous groups as well. Is that right?
We are, and a lot of our work is going towards how do we train people in remote locations.
Right.
Northern Canada, for example, being one of them. And yes, we're very much starting to pave the way of training people in the north. Yeah.
It sounds to me like this is a true Canadian success story. This is a small, medium enterprise here doing amazing things, new technology, disrupting the market a little bit with a new way of doing business. Yet your common sense approach to it is fascinating, right? I mean, you saw that it was being done in another sector. Let's not totally reinvent the wheel, but let's bring that over to this industry. So, Randy, I think you're doing fascinating work, and thank you very much for making waves, and we really appreciate what you're contributing to this conversation and the service that you're providing to Canada, because what you're talking about here are keeping people safe. That's a very important
That's
role.
our number one.
It's our number one role.
When we hear there's a storm going on, and we like to think that the people who are training our stuff, they believe they're in a good spot.
Randy, you know what? I've worked in marketing for 30 years. I'm looking at your business card. It says Virtual Marine Performance Simulation and Training. Look at that, Al.
Yep.
Be ready.
That's it. Be ready.
Man, you got to be ready
in
everything you do in life, and you guys are doing it. Thank you for doing that and making people safe.
Perfect. Well, thanks so much for having me.
Cheers.
All right. Thanks, sir.